Hi, it's Ruby. Thanks for clicking on my video. Today's video is going to be all about Universal Studios Hollywood in California. And this is some footage I took about 2 weeks ago over New Year's. So you're going to see a lot of holiday decorations here. But I wanted to do a walkthrough and kind of get you up to speed on what's been going on at Universal Studios and just kind of highlight the differences between this CityWalk and Downtown Disney. If you like my content, please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And follow me on Instagram at Ruby's Best Life. First things first, it was really convenient to get into CityWalk. There was no charge to park, and we were able to pretty much park on the main level. I think we were like maybe one down, so we had to take the elevator because we had a stroller. But it was pretty simple, and getting through security into the actual CityWalk was also fairly simple. We just got our temperature scanned, and that was it. There was no metal detector or security dogs, so literally it was maybe 1 minute to get through because there was pretty much no crowds here. As we walked into CityWalk, I really did get excited because it's been a minute since I've been to Universal Studios in Hollywood, and I really did worry that Universal Studios was impacted a lot more than maybe Downtown Disney. And I'm not sure if that's because a lot of the shopping down there is food related, which in theory you would think would be open, and I'll get into that later in the video. But, you know, it just kind of made me a little bit excited, but also like kind of sad because it's obviously not what it was at all. But it still was good to get down there. We parked at the Jurassic Park parking lot, and then when we came in, we went to the right because the main areas I wanted to go to was the Universal Studios store, and I wanted to take pictures on the red carpet for Christmas, and then, of course, try the butterbeer because that was, I think, an amazing idea for Universal to put that out in CityWalk and draw people in because that's usually something exclusive to being in the park. So when I first got in, I just took in all the beautiful decorations that were still up and kind of trying to figure out what was still open and what was closed. Popcornopolis, which is a place I love to go and get my zebra popcorn, was closed, and I was surprised by that because that's actually a big crowd drawer usually, but it never actually opened back up after the park and CityWalk closed down, so I wasn't super surprised by that. I kind of skimmed over Mini Monster, but that is like a cotton candy spot. And again, it was kind of strange because you're not supposed to eat anything or drink anything in CityWalk. And I feel like the people working there were trying to make sure that people didn't do that. But I did notice I feel like more people trying to break that rule than I did see in other places. I'm not going to go into it too much. Okay, so here's a shot of the red carpet at Universal Studios, and I love this. It's so beautiful how they set this up. It was kind of busy that day I was there. It was New Year's, so I didn't get a ton of pictures on it, but it was really, really nice to, you know, just take it in and kind of be by the Universal Studios globe. And I'm usually in Hollywood for Halloween Horror Nights, so this was kind of like a polar opposite, but very beautiful, and I recommend trying to get a picture next year if you can. All right, so next we went into the Universal Studios store, and they were very, 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 very conservative on their occupancy. I think that at one time there was maybe 6 people in the store, so it was nice if you were worried about being around a lot of people. That was definitely not going to be an issue in the store, but I did feel like pressure to like hurry up and shop because there was a line outside, but I didn't hurry up. I took my time, I looked around, and I really took it in and enjoyed it because, you know, in a way you go here and you're looking for things to buy, but you're trying to also get the vibe and kind of in your mind pretend maybe you're inside the park. So I definitely did that. I think for most people, there's usually big things that they come to see when they do come to Universal Studios. And for my family, it's definitely Harry Potter, so the Wizardly World of Harry Potter, and also the Jurassic Park franchise. I would say third to that would be The Mummy. But I spent a lot of time in the Harry Potter inspired corner of the store, and it was so awesome to see all of the things that they have there. And if you are into the books and into the movies, there's probably a ton of just hidden things that you'll notice throughout the store. So I tried to go in and take video of everything that I was seeing, but honestly, I probably missed a ton of stuff because there was just so much to look at and to take in. I also did not touch a lot of the merchandise because I don't really like to do that, especially during a time like this. So I'll just tell you in general, the pricing for the Harry Potter items was pretty high. The only thing that I thought was maybe a little bit cheaper than I remember it being in the park was these chocolates. I got the holiday chocolates for about $10, and the larger sized frog chocolates were $13. I think that those were usually $15 in the park, if I remember correctly. So it was a little bit off, but none of the marketing said that it was off. I just asked them and then they rang it up and told me. If you're interested in getting something specific, Harry Potter themed, I would definitely consider making a trip down to the Universal City store because they had a very large array of items. They had a ton of clothing. They had winter-inspired items, and that has a lot to do with the theming of the movie, with the scarves and the house-inspired clothing and merchandise. There was a lot of plush items. I'm showing you that here. Related to the animals that are featured and the different mystical creatures that are featured in the series. And there was also even, I'll show you in a little bit, ornaments and some Christmas-inspired things. That was different and unique. I know that I've seen ornaments in the theme parks themselves in the summer, so I don't think that that's something that they only have during the holiday time. But it was really nice to see the water bottles and, some of the more summer-inspired items since, I don't know, as soon as Christmas is over, I always assume we're just like in summer, even though we're not. Okay, and then here's some purses and some more candy from Honeydukes. And I want to also bring up that all the stuff that is here is not specific to necessarily Harry Potter. There was some stuff for Fantastic Beasts, like some of the plush animals and some of the clothing you will see is more inspired from that series, even though they're kind of all tied together. So I thought that was kind of cool and a little bit different. I don't remember seeing that before, and it might have to do with the fact that before everything happened with the pandemic, they were supposed to release the third film in 2020, but they pushed it out to 2021. So the merchandise might have got produced prior to that a little bit, and now they're using that to fill the store. Not certain, but that's my guess because I did see a lot more than I've seen previously. Okay, I promised you previously a little bit of Harry Potter inspired Christmas, and there it is, your very first, or in this video, very first Harry Potter themed Christmas tree. And there was also a ton of ornaments on them that you could purchase, but there was also a shelf specific to ornaments and featuring themes throughout the franchise. So definitely take your time to look at that because it was really beautiful. And again, I don't think that this is something that's specific to only Christmas. I think you can go and pretty much get it anytime. And these ranged from $15, $20 to $40. So definitely a pretty wide range of pricing. So take your time and look at that. If you've been to the Universal Studios store and been in this section, I'd be curious if there was anything you saw that was more specific to internal to the park versus what would be there anytime. I really didn't notice anything, but again, like I mentioned, it's been a minute since I've been in the store, so leave something in the comment if you've noticed something that I've shown that maybe you only saw in the Wizardly World of Harry Potter and you're now seeing it in the store itself. Okay guys, so shortly we're going to be moving on to the other section of the store that's more specific to Jurassic World, Minions, and Secret Life of Pets. So it was kind of sad right before the pandemic happened. I know there was a big countdown where people were anticipating the opening of the Secret Life of Pets ride in Universal Studios. I know that I was waiting to see it and had planned to spend Mother's Day in Universal Studios, but that didn't happen. I also really miss the food in the Wizardly World of Harry Potter. I know some people don't love it, but I do love it. Something about the mashed potatoes and the chicken, I just love it. And I think that it tastes different. I don't know if it's authentic necessarily because I've only been to England one time and didn't get to eat a ton because it was a brief trip. So let me know what you think about the food. Okay, so moving over to the Jurassic World items, this was actually where I did see some stuff that was on sale. Those masks that I showed previously, I grabbed them. They were 30% off, and that was a pretty good deal. The Secret Life of Pets and some of the other plush items were like buy one, get one 50% off. So if you were already going to buy one, that's a good deal. But other than that, I didn't see a ton of markdown, which was surprising to me. I don't know if it's because the merchandise doesn't really have necessarily like a season to it. And if you don't put the year on something, you don't really shorten the shelf life. So again, it was nice being in the store and getting to see all the different areas, but there wasn't a ton of markdowns in sales. The far corner of the store was basically dedicated to the Simpson family, and there are some sculptures in the hallway. But one thing that I did find that you cannot get usually in CityWalk, but you were able to get now, is the donuts. And they were so good, you guys. Okay, I got there about an hour after opening, and they were fresh and they were soft. And I only got one, and I regret that. I should have gotten two because it was so good. But yes, I definitely recommend going to that store and grabbing one of those donuts when you can. Speaking of things that are exclusive usually to the park, yes, we got the Harry Potter butterbeer, and it was amazing, you guys. It was so good. I can't even emphasize it enough. I was like thinking about it on the drive over, and it was so good. They had all these different ones to try. So we ended up getting the frozen butterbeer, the standard butterbeer, and then the hot butterbeer. I did not get the butterbeer ice cream. I did not get a churro, but you know, it is what it is. I was like kind of trying to take it easy. I didn't want to be sick, but it was delicious. The service was great. It was pretty fast, but I would recommend that if you're going to get it towards the end of your visit, because like I said before, you are not supposed to eat or drink in CityWalk currently. That is not allowed. You should be getting your food and leaving. And the nice thing about CityWalk, like I mentioned before, you get to park pretty much at the door if you get there at a specific time. So the walk over from Butterbeer to your car could be as short as 5 minutes. And one thing about the Butterbeer, the creamy part, it will flow over. And they definitely weren't stingy about it. So get that and enjoy that, you guys. It was so good. Okay, so now I'm going to kind of show you what was to the left of the Jurassic Park garage, more on the other side, opposite of Universal Studios. There was a lot of restaurants, guys, and a lot of them were closed. Bubba Gump's was open, and then there was some of the smaller things like the donut shop, Mini Monster, but majority of these places were closed unless they were shopping like Sephora. So that was a little bit disappointing and kind of disheartening to see. I don't think it has anything to do with the fact that people don't want to eat or pick up food there, but it is probably a little bit more convenient to like go to a restaurant close. And unless you're actually going into CityWalk to hang out or to, you know, spend time there, it is a little bit, you know, inconvenient. So I hope that those restaurants still stay in CityWalk and that they open up later on. There's no telling really, but you know, it is a really great place. I could totally see, you know, going there on a Friday night or something after everything's calmed down, if you're not actually going into Universal Studios, and just grabbing some food and hanging out and enjoying the vibe. So we didn't go into It's Sugar, but I've been there in Chicago. It's a really nice candy store, and it was open, and there didn't look like there was a ton of people in there. In general, the crowds were pretty low at CityWalk, except for maybe around the Universal Studios red carpet. But, you know, I would definitely make sure to check out the website to see what is said to be open, but to also maybe try to call ahead, because I did notice that some things that were supposed to be open on the website were not actually open when I was there. Well, guys, that's pretty much all I had for you. Overall, I want to say that it was nice to go to CityWalk and kind of experience Universal Studios since it's been a while. I'm so happy that they opened the Butterbeer stand. I recommend going and hitting that up and checking out the store. All right, guys, well, have a great rest of your day. Thank you for watching. Bye.